Welcome to this week's Desmond's Donder's Photo Diary. Why not join us on our Donders? As the lockdown eases, Desmond gets out to play again. And we're off to Lochindorb. This is the first place we went to with Desmond when we bought him. And as it was the site of our first trip, we decided, yes, why not? Let's celebrate being able to get out again with a visit to lovely Lochindorb. Diary, 2nd of July 2020. Yes, the 2nd of July. I set off around 11 p.m. for our intended weekend post-lockdown at Lochindorb. I arrived at our usual spot around midnight to find it occupied by a van load of fishermen. They signalled they were just leaving, so I got parked up. On the journey here I saw a barn owl and 2 Tawny Owls, as well as Roe Deer aplenty. It is just great to be back out and about, even with the restrictions we still have. Still grinning, and I expect I will be for some time. The weather forecast is not good, but who cares? I'm out and about. Lindsay is not here until Saturday, unfortunately. She is on a night shift. Third of July 2020. Where am I? Oh yes, in Desmond. Nice to wake up and be out and about. I can hear rain on the roof and the birds are calling. After breakfast I took in the views of the loch over a cup of tea. It's grey and murky, but it's still great to be here. Apart from the rain, it is windy, so probably no drone today. The loch is quiet and a couple of campervans have passed, but not the usual amount of cars or fishermen so far. There have been no canoes etc. on the loch either. Radio antennas are up and working. No DMR repeaters in range, so I'm listening on the Hotspot. The HF bands are busy, only 2 meters is quiet. Later in the day, the cloud cleared and there was a little sun. A few people were about, including a couple of swimmers. But as the sun began to head down, the loch was left in peace with just me and the birds. Highlights of the birds had to be the black-throated divers and the swallows playing in the wind. The rain returned for a while, then cleared up before sunset. The cloud vanished and I prepared for a time lapse. Wrong, the time lapse camera battery was flat, so I had to recharge it. That did not stop me videoing the sunset and even the midnight sky. What a brilliant day with only one thing missing. But Lindsay will be here tomorrow, and now it is time for bed. 4th of July. Today there is a better start to the day, weather-wise. Up, breakfasted, and on with the birding and radio. There are plenty of vans about today, and there are fishermen and boaters on the loch. I thought I was getting visitors around lunchtime, but they were not stopping. It was Mal and Margaret heading around to their favourite spot further around the loch, and just stopping briefly for a chat. Later, a van and a car pulled into the spot. They are a family group, canoeing and paddleboarding. Lindsay arrived. Craig gave her a run through. Craig and Laura did not stop, but headed straight off. After a couple of cups of tea, Lindsay went off for a walk to clear her head from the night shifts. When she returned, you guessed it, she had been wobbling. The wind had dropped off, and so I managed to fly the drone. Initially, just a check flight with a new controller. Then, having tested it about Desmond, I flew it over to the bridge and around the top of the loch. Everything worked well and as expected. When Lindsay returned, we had another copper. The wind continued to fall, and Lindsay decided to head out around the top of the loch for a walk, but was soon driven back by the hordes of midges. Unlike yesterday, it did not clear up, and later it even clouded over further, and the wind and rain returned. There are no midnight pictures tonight. The bird highlights today include osprey, peregrine and hen harriers, but the black-throated divers upped their game by appearing with a youngster. There are photographs and video of this in Friday's video from Lochindorb. Fifth of July 2020. A little bit of mixed weather today, but typical of Lochindorb. Lindsay managed to walk in the morning between the showers. The group of tents at the central car park had left a mess, too much for one person to clear up. We were just about to head off for a walk when Mal and Margaret dropped in on their way home. We had a chat and then the heavens opened. Later we set up to walk the loch side and fly the drone nearer the castle. It was not to be. The wind got back up again, but was well worth the walk as we got some great shots and video while we were there. Later we were entertained by windsurfers. We were then left in peace to await a sunset, but it became obvious it was not going to happen again. So time for bed. The 6th of July 2020. We were up, breakfasted, trail cam collected and all packed away, ready to head for home. I had taken down the antennas last night, so one less job to be done. The first problem, the passenger seat, Lindsay's, did not want to lock. I sorted that and adjusted mine as well. Time to start the engine. Desmond does not want to go home. We have a flat battery. We had trouble calling the breakdown, so we got Craig to give us a jump start. No joy. So we called recovery and they came and got us going. It was an uneventful journey after this, but we will be talking to Green Flag about that damned app that they have. Lochindorb, from the Gaelic meaning Loch of the Minnows, is a freshwater loch north of Grantown-on-Spey in the Highland and Islands area of Scotland. This loch is home to the ruins of Lochindorb Castle, a former stronghold of the Clan Comyn, and is built on what is now said to be an artificially created island, and was home to the Wolf of Badenoch. Lochindorb is also home to an array of wildlife and is a popular fishing and birdwatching spot. The loch was traditionally a game loch with large native brown trout population. However, there's been a dramatic decrease in anglers since the illegal introduction of pike to the loch, which has decimated the brown trout. Wildlife: Roe Deer, small white butterfly, green veined butterfly, rabbit, white-tailed bumblebee. Birds: barn owl, tawny owl, black-headed gull, oystercatcher, common sandpiper, swallow, sand martin, wood pigeon, grey-lag goose, house martin, pied wagtail, skylark, grey wagtail, common gull, swift, willow warbler, wren, black-throated diver, meadow pipit, mallard, red grouse, black-tailed godwit, reed bunting, osprey, peregrine, stonechat, hen harrier, chiffchaff, lapwing, buzzard, redshank. Thank you for watching Desmond's Donders. We'll hope you'll join us again for more photos, waffle and reading as we travel around Scotland. Bye for now.